No problem. Leave it. Yes. Now, what is this positioning? So in CSS, position is nothing but so we can it will help us where we need to place the items. So what do you mean by items? So you can take any one. Mm, now, so child. Let's take child. Okay. So this parent inside the parent tag there is a child tag. Okay. Again H1 tag. Okay. This is child tag. Let's take suppose. This is child tag. So basically, what are the positions we have? Let me list out first. The main one is, or we can say default one is static. So let me list out in the UL, LI. Okay. The first one is static. STATIC. Static one. Then list relative. Then list absolute. And fixed. And the last one is sticky. So these are the mostly available positions. So here, static and sticky, fixed, absolute, relative. Five positions are available in CSS. So static is a default one. That means whenever you create anything in the HTML, for example, now we created parent tag and child tag. Inside that we use H1 tag. So by default, inside the system, we can say it as a in a backend, automatically it will set to static. Right now manually we need to change the position based upon our requirement. We can say based on our requirement we need to change our positions. So for example, I will let you know when we need to use relatives or when we need to use absolute. I will let you know everything. Okay, great. So static is the default one. Let me talk about the another one. What is it? Okay, let me try to run this. Yes, this is how it will look. Now we need to focus on the relatives and absolute, fixed, sticky. So here absolute, sorry, relatives will work based on the based on this child, but absolute will work according to the parent tag. We can say parent tag or parent class, but relative will work according to the child tag, and stick fixed is work based on the again parent tag. So I will demonstrate you. I will show you the demonstration how it will work actually. Okay. So for that we need CSS here. Go here, close this, close this. Cool. Now margin 0, border 0. Great. Now what is it? Here let's take. Observe carefully here. UL, LI, position relative, top 30 pixels, and left again 30 pixels. Observe carefully. Okay. So whenever you're using an absolute or relatives, when you're using in a positions, so basically we use top, left, right, bottom, this kind of stuff. I said right. So position is nothing but moving an item from one place to another place. అర్థమవుతుందా? బట్ మూవ్ చేసేదానికి ఇక్కడ రూల్స్ ఉన్నాయి. రిలేటివ్ యూజ్ చేస్తే ఆ టాప్ 30 పిక్సెల్స్ లెఫ్ట్ 30 పిక్సెల్స్ పెట్టినప్పుడు ఒకలా వర్క్ అవుతుంది. సేమ్ 30 పిక్సెల్స్ టాప్ 30 పిక్సెల్స్ లెఫ్ట్ 30 పిక్సెల్స్ పెట్టినప్పుడు ఫర్ అబ్జల్యూట్ కి డిఫరెంట్ గా ఉంటుంది అవుట్పుట్. చూద్దాం అదే. ఓకే, అదే విధంగా మనం ఇప్పుడు లెట్స్ టేక్ పేరెంట్ ట్యాగ్ పొజిషన్ అబ్జల్యూట్ టాప్ 30 pixels, left 30 pixels. Okay, ready to go to the output. Now this is how before it is looking. Now let me refresh. This is how it will reflect. So see, when I mention this as absolute, so what happens is the absolute will work according to the body. Like it will consider this entire thing as a website. This entire thing as a website, right? Now this absolute, what will happen is it will take or it will work on entire website. అంటే ఇది ఒక ఎంటైర్ వెబ్సైట్ పేరెంట్ ట్యాగ్ లాగా తీసుకుంటుంది. సో ఇది మూవ్ అయ్యేది ఎలా ఉంటుందంటే టాప్ 0 పెట్టాం అనుకోండి ఇక్కడ. సో లెట్ సపోజ్ టాప్ 0 ఉంటే ఏమవుతుందంటే ఇక్కడికి వెళ్తుంది అనమాట. సి it goes stop here because why it considered, because entire website it considered as a parent tag. So that's why when we put a 0 top 0 to the absolute, it will go to the top. Similarly, if I put right 0, let's suppose right 0, see here it was jump into the right top. So when you need to use absolute, and when we need to use relative, you need to understand what most of the people they confuse and they will mismatch it and they will miswrite that. So అబ్సల్యూట్ రాయాల్సిన దగ్గర రిలేటివ్ రాస్తారు, రిలేటివ్ రాయాల్సిన దగ్గర అబ్సల్యూట్ రాస్తారు. మరి అవుట్పుట్ రాలేదు, రిక్వైర్మెంట్ బేస్ చేసుకుని అవుట్పుట్ రాలేదు అంటే కష్టం అవుతుంది, రాదని అనమాట. సి రిలేటివ్ ఇక్కడ యూజ్ చేయాలి, అబ్సల్యూట్ ఎలా యూజ్ చేయాలి అది మీరు ఎప్పుడు నేర్చుకుంటారంటే వన్స్ యూ స్టెప్ ఇన్ టు ద ప్రాజెక్ట్ వైల్ యూర్ డూయింగ్ ద ప్రాజెక్ట్స్, దెన్ యూ విల్ understand. But before that, I will teach you how it is. Okay, great. This is a basic thing. Now, let's jump into the, just remove this, but I will teach you how we to write this. So let's take minimum height or else height. Let's take 500 pixels. Width 500 pixels. Background, let's take black itself. Color wheat. Okay, now this is how it will look. Just put this on this one. This is how it will look. Let me decrease the size as well, it's too high. Great, it will look like this. Now position relative. When we use a position relative, if I put top 30 pixels, left 30 pixels, so what will happen? Anybody can you guess what will happen when I put 30 pixels top and 30 pixels left to the parent tag? After setting the position relative, what will happen? It will just move left 30 pixels and top 30 pixels. అంటే కిందకి 30 pixels వస్తుంది. టాప్ అంటే పైనకి వెళ్ళదు అనమాట, ఇంకా కిందకి వస్తుంది. ఇక్కడ చూసారా స్టిక్ కి ఇక్కడ 1 pixels గ్యాప్ ఉంది. ఇక్కడ చూస్తే రీఫ్రెష్ చేస్తున్నాను. See, we got gap, 30 pixels gap on the left and 30 pixels gap on the top. This is how the relative will work. Now dot child position absolute top, it is already in 0. Let's take 50%. Right, let's take not right, let me take left because it is in left side, right? We need to take to the right side a little bit, so you can take it as left side. Let's take 20 pixels, let's assume. See, Now it get into the, it is working inside the box. So when I use 30 pixels, same 30 pixels, top 30 pixels and left 30 pixels, ఇక్కడ యూస్ చేశాను చూసారు. ఇంతకుముందు మీకు ఐడియా ఉందా? నేను పేరెంట్ ట్యాగ్ ఏం చేశాను, 30 పిక్సెల్స్ యూస్ చేశాను. సేమ్ 30 పిక్సెల్స్ యూస్ చేయమంటే ఈ విధంగా వర్క్ అవుతుంది అనమాట అది. సో ఇది ఏంటి అంటే పేరెంట్ ట్యాగ్ అనేది ఏంటి, it's a parent class. Inside the parent class, again, there is a child class. Parent class is nothing but like in a room which is having another room. Now, first we need to set the parent tag to relative. Then only we need to set the child tags to absolute. So instead of this, if you set to parent tag to absolute, you can set according to the requirement. For example, you want to this tag, this black color background, if you want to send to here, the top right side, the top right side, you want to put this entire black box. So in that cases, you can choose this. So what I'm trying to do is, my requirement is I want to move this entire black color background, black box to right top. Right top, I want to move. This is my requirement. In that cases, I can use this, and if I refresh this, it will move here. It will move here. If I decrease the pixels here, 0 pixels and 0 pixels right, now it will move the top. Again, in this top right black box, I want the text in the middle of the black box, not in the top, middle of the black box. Now I need to focus. What is this? This is a child tag where it is available inside the child class. Inside the child class, it is available. So inside the parent class, sorry, inside the parent class, it is available. Now you need to increase the top. Let's take, in this cases, you can use percentage, which will increase or which is help us to move fastly. See, now we got the tag, we got the sentence in the middle. అర్థమవుతుందా? సో మనకి ఎంటైర్ పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ ని ఒక ప్లేస్ నుంచి ఇంకొక ప్లేస్ పెద్దదిగా మూవ్ చేయాలంటే, బాడీ బేస్ చేసుకుని మూవ్ చేయాలి అంటే వీ కెన్ యూజ్ దిస్. అర్థమవుతుందా? అదే మనము ఇన్సైడ్ ది థింగ్స్, ఇన్సైడ్ ది పేరెంట్ క్లాస్ లో ఉన్న థింగ్స్ ని మనం అడ్జస్ట్ చేయాలి అంటే ఫస్ట్ మనం దీనికి అబ్సల్యూట్ కాకుండా దీనికి రిలేటివ్ అని పెట్టుకోవాలన్నమాట. ఆర్ ఎల్స్ ఇఫ్ యూ పుట్ రిలేటివ్ టు దిస్, డోంట్ కన్ఫ్యూజ్, మనం ఇంకా క్లియర్ గా నేర్చుకుందాం. సో యూ కెన్ పుట్ రిలేటివ్ టు దిస్. Either it should be relative if you want to move little bit. So when it is relative, in that cases you should use absolute here in the child class. Or else if you want to move big scale, if you want to move the parent to a big scale, see ikkadunna parent, ikkadunna black box ikkada move chesam. You can ask me relative use chesi move chain kada anesi. Of course you can move using relative. So how can we do that? Let me try to do it again. So I'm going to use a relative here. So this is here now. We need to push this to top right side. How can we do that? Simple. We need to use bottom again because it will work different way. Bottom. Let's take 50 pixels. Now it is moving top. Again, 100 pixels, let's say. It going top. Now, left side. We need to use a left, right? Left. 800 pixels. Still we need to increase it. Let's take 1000 pixels. It's too high. 900, I think. Okay, 980, is it? Yes, obviously. So see, this is how we need to move. We can do this. We can do this. But see, when I use a relative, we need to use this much bottom size and this much left pixels. So you can ask me, okay, anyways, we push this black box to the top right, then what is the problem? Now it won't give any problem. If I go in a different mode, if I go in a mobile mode, it will be like this, overflow. This is called overflow. If you want to see how it look in the iPhone, it's not giving, yes. So iPhone, it will look like this. This is called overflow. It should not be like this. It should not be like this. This is an issue. Okay, so that is why we need to follow some basic rules anamata. Manam ikkada position absolute petali, at the same time ఇక్కడ రిలేటివ్ మనం మెయింటైన్ చేయాలి. పేరెంట్ ట్యాగ్ ఎప్పుడు కానీ రిలేటివ్ ఉండాలి. అదే విధంగా ఇక్కడ పొజిషన్ అబ్జల్యూట్ ఉండాలన్నమాట. ఈ విధంగా యూజ్ చేస్తే మనకి అవుతుంది. సో ఇంకోటి ఏంటి అంటే మీరు చిన్న చిన్న చేంజెస్ చేసుకోవాలి, తక్కువ చిన్న చిన్నగా మూవ్ చేసుకోవాలి, కొంచెం 30 పిక్సెల్స్ 50 పిక్సెల్స్ మూవ్ చేసుకోవాలనుకుంటే రిలేట్ యూజ్ చేయొచ్చు. పెద్ద చేంజెస్ ఇప్పుడు చూసారు, మనం బాడీలో టాప్ రైట్ తీసుకుని వెళ్దాం, అదే రిలేట్ యూజ్ చేస్తే 1000 పిక్సెల్స్ వెళ్ళింది. అదే అబ్జల్యూట్ యూజ్ చేస్తే సింపుల్ గా టాప్ 0 అండ్ రైట్ 0, సింపుల్ గా రెండు థింగ్స్ యూజ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏమైనా చూసారు, ఇప్పుడు ఓవర్ఫ్లో లేదు, టాప్ రైట్ వెళ్ళింది అండ్ ఇప్పుడు ఓవర్ఫ్లో లేదంటే లైక్ మూవ్ అవ్వడం లేదు వెబ్సైట్ అటు ఇటు. దిస్ ఇస్ హౌ, ఇఫ్ యూ యూస్ దిస్ ఇస్ హౌ ఇట్ విల్ వర్క్. అది అర్థం చేసుకోండి. ఓకే, దిస్ ఇస్ ద బేసిక్ డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ ది అబ్సల్యూట్ అండ్ రిలేటివ్. అండ్ you need to know where we need to use an absolute, where we need to use a relative. That's very important. Okay, we will learn more depth when we enter into the basic project, like designing the login page, some other stuff. Okay, great. So after this, after we have one more concept, after that, let me try to design a basic login page today, and your job is to design some other thing. Okay, so great. What is the next one? Let's take another thing. Dot fixed position. So నేను ఇప్పుడు డాట్ రాసాను చూస్తున్నారా, డాట్ ఫిక్స్డ్ హైఫన్ పొజిషన్. So dot is nothing but it is used to create the class dot position. When you give this, automatically it will create the one entire div here. It's like a shortcuts to create. You don't need to write this kind of things. You don't need to write div. Again, inside that, you don't need to write the classes, fix it. It's take time. So by practice, you will get more efficient, right? Great. So fixed position. So let me talk about it. So what I will do is I will just comment this stuff. Okay. Or else let me play this on the same thing. Dot parent orient, yes, height 300 pixels and width 300 pixels, position fixed. Okay. Now observe this. So it gone. Where it is? This entire. So when you need to use a like position fixed. So for example, in navigation bar, let me show you this stuff. Go to this one for our website. So here, this navigation bar is set to fixed. How can you know that it is fixed? See, when I scroll this navigation bar, it's not scrolling. In the top, the navigation bar, it is not scrolling. It is actually it is on the same place, but the website is scrolling, isn't it? But the navigation bar, it is not at all scrolling. This is called. At the same time, you can observe here this icon. This icon, it's not at all scrolling. Whatever you do, it will not scroll. The website will scroll, but the icon will not scroll, isn't it? This is called fixed options, or this is called fixed properties. So mostly we will use if you don't want to scroll that object, if you don't want to scroll that class. So in that cases, you can use fixed option. So I will teach you, or I will show you in the login page itself, because small things you will not, it will not reflect that much. When you building some project, it may be a registration, whatever it may be, there you will understand how this positions will actually implementing or impacting on the output. You will understand there. Okay. Then sticky and fixed, both are work similar. Both are work similar, fixed and sticky. Same, you can use child, position, sticky. So both are will work in a same way. You know, you need to observe one thing. Actually, I mentioned, let's take, let's take a background color. You will understand more better. And here, let's take color, wheat. Okay. So when you use a fixed, let me take some height here. Excuse me. Yes. So when you let's try to increase the size here. Body height 200 VH. Now there is a scrolling. Did you observe this? This static relatives. We can say this list is moving here. This list is moving. Did you observe this? There is a scroll bar here. This list is moving in the top, but this should not move. This black box will not move. That is the fixed property. That is called fixed property. And sticky is similar to the fixed property, very mild difference. So we will use fixed property lot of times exactly when you're designing the navigation bar or when you're designing this kind of stuff you don't want to move this icon at any cost. So in that cases you can use this navigation bar. Similarly, if you use this stuff in the mobile, you will get a menu icon in the top right. In the mobile you will get three lines of menu icon. So it is also fixed. Even if you move the website in the top and left or right, so that icon will be stood there only, right? That is the basic difference between the positions like relative, absolute, fixed and sticky. Then I know, I know you might have a little bit of still confusion. I understood that, but you will understand once we design a basic examples. These are the very mild things. You will not it will not give that much, you know, how can I say outputs on it. But when you're designing actual login pages or registration pages, some other websites for samples, then only you will understand more better how it is working. Okay, don't worry. I will explain you and I will teach you how to design that. So meanwhile, I will explain how this is are impacting. So if I use an absolute in a certain situation, how this is impacting on the login page. If I use a relative, how it is impacting on the login page. I will demonstrate you everything, the live itself. Don't worry. Okay, great. Then the next one is border boxing. Sorry, border box. It's different. Let's we talk about the box modeling. So here we will get everything. So what is box modeling first of all? So go to here, inspect. When you click on right click it, you will find an option called inspect. Click on it. So this is CSS. This is called border boxing concept. So for everything, when you take anything in the CSS, definitely it should follow this one. So I mentioned right, by default, we need to set this. Actually, we need to set the padding also here. Padding 0. Because see, margin, padding, border, three properties will by default, it will set to some 1 pixel or 2 pixels. We need to manually make it 0. That's how. Okay. So what is this border boxing? Why we need to follow this? Let me take an example. So here 375 is a content. So there is some space inside it. That is called padding. After that, we have some line. It is called border. Again, there is some gap outside the border. It is called margin. Simply, we will take an example, and we will look into it. So we can do this now. Go to here, take an example, content. Okay. So this is called margin. Let's take. Then border, then padding, then content. You can ask me, you are directly using margin, border, padding, content. This is the keywords, right? Then how can you use it as a class names? You can use, no problem. It will not reflect, it will not do anything. It's just like a normal class names. You can use, no problem. Great. Now it's time to understand the stuff. Now let's take anyone's names here. Mm, okay, Surya here. I'm not finding any name. Surya, okay, Surya here. Okay, great. Let's take Surya. Surya is the name. Now what we need to do is we need to set the border to the Surya. We need to set the padding and we need to set the margin. Okay, great. Let's jump into it now. So first what we need to do, we need to access the class content. So for content, first we need to give border. You will understand. Wait, or else let me give background. You will understand how actually it is working. Let's take aqua color or spring green. It will look great, little bit good. And color black. Okay. So let me jump into here. So this is how it will look in the top here. Okay, sorry. This is how it will look here. Okay, in the top. So what we can do is we need to put in some h1 tag. So this is how it will look. It will understand more better. Now we need to set the height and width for it. Let's suppose height 50 pixels and width, sorry, width 50 pixels. It is not enough. So don't worry. Okay. Min width 50 pixels. So when you give min width, it automatically spreading to 100 pixels. Sorry, full. So you need to increase this to 100 pixels. Let me try. Yes. Now we got the stuff here. Okay. Let's take margin again. Now take, or else we need to set the body. Don't worry, I will explain. So take it 100 VH. Text align, center, grid. Now our first task is to set the border. Border 4 pixels, solid black. So we got border, right? We got border outside of the color. This is called border. Observe carefully. Now I need a padding. Let me tell you what is this padding and all stuff. Padding. Let's take 2 pixels and 10 pixels. What is this 2 pixels and 10 pixels? I will tell you. Then margin. Again, let's take 20 pixels and 30 pixels. This is margin. How it is working? Let me increase this 50 pixels. Observe carefully. Okay, again, let me increase this to 50 pixels. Great. So now what I did is I took a content. So the content is named Surya, which is inside the h1 tag. Now, how it is working? Let's suppose assume this. Compare with this. Here we have a 375, right? It is Surya content. So there is a padding inside it. Padding is nothing but giving the space outside of the content, not outside of the border, outside of the content. So observe carefully. The border. Let me try to increase it. How can we increase? So let me try to put 20 pixels and 50 pixels. You will understand. Now observe carefully. I'm refreshing the page. Did you see? We got left and right sides a gap, on the top and bottom side we got space. This is called padding. Padding is nothing but giving the space outside of the content and inside the border. That is called padding. Then what is margin? Margin is nothing but giving the space outside of the border. So observe carefully. For border, we have 50 pixels, 50 pixels. I'm going to give 100 pixels here. Again, here I'm going to give 200 pixels. So let now, what is this padding? This is x-axis, or we can say height and width. Similarly for margin also హైట్ అండ్ విడ్త్. ఏంటి హైట్ అండ్ విడ్త్ అంటే మనం హైట్ ఇంక్రీజ్ చేసుకోవాలంటే అంటే టాప్ అండ్ బాటమ్ లో గ్యాప్ రావాలంటే వీ నీడ్ టు యూస్ height here. For example, here 20 pixels, right? So let we try to add as 100 pixels. Did you observe? We got top and bottom, we got space. This is height. Padding width. Now observe carefully. We got width also increased. Why? Because we increase the width here automatically. This is happening inside the border. Then what is this margin? Margin will reflect out of the border, outside of the border. So here, see, here we have a little bit of gap. I need more gap, specifically on top side. I don't want to move this to left. I don't already have a lot of space in the left side. I don't want to move this to left anymore, but I want space only on the top side. Because in the left side, I have this more space. On the top side, I don't have that much space. I want to move this. So how can we do that? Margin top. Now we got space here. See, 300 pixels gap here. How it is working? I'm not moving the box to left side. I'm only increase the space on the top side, top of the box. So specifically, if you want to move an object for a left or top or bottom, we can use margin top. Margin top. Okay, this is how it will work. Specifically, if you want to move on a one side, I'm making it comment. Now I'm refreshing it. Now see, we got very less space. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఈ విధంగా అన్నమాట. This is called box modeling. So why we need to use a box modeling? You can ask me. Just simple, to make the website more adjustable. We can say adjustable because when we follow the correct margin, correct borders and correct padding, then the item will sit in the right place. అర్థమవుతుందా? మనం మార్జిన్స్ కరెక్ట్ గా పెట్టకపోతే ఏమవుతుందంటే ఇట్ విల్ బికమ్ ఓవర్ఫ్లో అవుతుంది అనమాట. ఓవర్ఫ్లో ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ ఓవర్ఫ్లో. దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ ఓవర్ఫ్లో. ఐఫోన్ ఎస్ఈలో ఈ విధంగా ఉంటుంది అనమాట. ఇస్ ఇట్ లుకింగ్ గుడ్? సో ఐఎమ్ జస్ట్, ఇస్ ఇట్ లుకింగ్ గుడ్? ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఓవర్ఫ్లో. ఈ విధంగా ఉంటుంది, బట్ ఇట్ ఇస్ నాట్ లుకింగ్ దాట్ మచ్ గుడ్. సో ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, here in the left side we have a space, right? You don't want to space on the left side. In the mobile point of view, what we can do is you can decrease the margin here. We have a here 100 pixels, right? Make it as 0 pixel. Refresh it. Now we got height 0 pixel. At the same time, left 0 pixels. Now we got, it was set entirely. This is how it will look in the iPhone, but it also reflect in the desktop. But in the desktop, I want space in the left and top, right? But it not reflect in the mobile. So this is how it will work. So what we need to do is we need to learn media queries. Media queries nothing but it's a different concept and it is a final concept. So media queries, it will help us to write a code, separate code for the mobile. So Samsung lela undali. Here we have a different mobiles. Sorry, here, oh, it is not displaying. There is a bunch of mobiles you will see. See, this is the bunch of mobiles. సో ఈ యొక్క మొబైల్స్ లో ఎలా ఉంటుంది అనేసి మనం ఇక్కడ నుంచి చూడొచ్చు అనమాట. అర్థమవుతుంది? ఐఫోన్ 14 Pro Max లో ఎలా ఉంటుంది, ఇవన్నీ మనం ఇక్కడ నుంచే చూడొచ్చు. అర్థమవుతుందా? ఈ విధంగా ఉంటుంది అనమాట. దిస్ ఇస్ ద బేసిక్ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఆఫ్ ది margin, border, padding. And I forgot to mention this syntax for the border. See, for border, there is a syntax. Border is a property. 4 pixels is nothing but size of the border. Size of the border. Next, what is this solid? It is a styles. We have a solid, dotted, dashed, double. Okay, so this is style. Then color. So let me try to change this solid to some other color. Let's take dotted. Okay, Now just observe the output. Did you observe? We got this dotted back, like border. This is called dotted border. This is different. This is different. Great. I hope you understand the points. Did you stuck at anywhere? I know you might have a little bit of confuse. I will clear it. So this is the basic understanding of positions and this box modeling. Okay, nothing in box modeling. You need to focus on the content. You need to focus on content. ఈ కంటెంట్ ఫోకస్ చేయాలి అర్థమవుతుందా సో బేస్డ్ ఆన్ ది కంటెంట్ వీ నీడ్ టు సెట్ ది బార్డర్స్ ప్యాడింగ్స్ మార్జిన్స్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఓకే దిస్ ఇస్ ద బేసిక్ స్టఫ్ నౌ let me jump into the basic example. So I'm gonna comment this. So you can ask me how you're commenting this in a single line or in a single click. And just uncomment or comment. How it is possible? Nothing. Just select whatever you want and like whatever you want to comment. So just select this and click CLT plus question mark symbol. CLT plus question mark symbol. So this is a shortcut to make multiple lines into a comments in single click. I will give more commands because it will difficult to make it one on if you can also do like this. See, you can do like this single comments. You can do like this, but it's difficult to do this. So that's why we can select a multiple lines at a time, and on a single click we can make it as a entire things as a comments. So we can learn more. I will teach you more comments here or shortcuts we can say, right? Great. So now we are going to learn about the basic one. Still we have 10 minutes of time. I will give you overview of the login page. Okay, or else I will remove all this stuff. Okay, so can I remove all this stuff? So did you understand? Great. So let me try it. Any queries? Margin top. Okay, weight, padding, margin. Okay, you have a doubt in margin top, Gayatri? Okay, let me try to clear it out. See, I'm gonna clear this all stuff, and what I will do is I will write a fresh code for the margin 0, padding 0, border 0. Okay, so let's we take a class called container. Inside the container, let me start the form. So login page actually ఎలా చేస్తారు form తో start అవ్వాలి. Form tag is a main tag. So after that, field set. Field set is nothing but it's like in a room which is used to store the multiple inputs. So form tag is to create the form functionality. So field set is used to store the multiple inputs. You can ask me, without field set it is not possible to write inputs. So you can use without field set also. You can directly step into this one, but it's a good practice to use field set after the form tag. That's why. Okay, anyways, if you don't want to use this field set, that's not a problem. Okay, great. Inside that placeholder, enter username. Again, same thing, enter password. And the last one is, let's take input submit. Type equals to submit, and don't worry about the name and the values. Sorry, ID. Here value equals to login. So nothing, I did nothing. I just created a container which is nothing but like an apartment. Inside the apartment, so I created a form tag to start the or to activate the inputs. So inside that I took 3 inputs. One is username, another one is password, and one is login button. Basically, for login page, we will have a three things: username, password, and login button. Of course, we will have a forget password. Again, we have a sign up button. So we have this kind of stuff. But for a basic example, it is fine. So let me jump into the output. See, this is how it is looking: username, password, and login button. But there is no margins, there is no borders, there is nothing, isn't it? Great. Now let me jump into the CSS dot container. So here we need to use minimum height, or you can use maximum height or minimum height. I will tell you how it will work. Under VH, VH stands for vertical height. So VH stands for vertical height. Vertical height. Okay. Similarly, maximum width 100 percentage. And let's take BZ to some other color, whatever it may be. Okay. Let me jump into the output. So Gayatri, I will show you how it is works. Margin. Okay, don't worry. So ఇదన్నమాట ఇప్పుడు మనం బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ సెట్ చేస్తాం. Okay. Just a minute. Background set JSON. Now we need to focus on the form tag. Great. Now let me jump into the form. FORM. So inside we can set minimum height. Now we should use here minimum height. Don't go for height. I will tell you why it is. Let's take 200 pixels. Max width 200 pixels, and background, let's take brown color, and color we should go for white color. Oh, sorry, this is how it is looking. This is how it is looking. Now I need to get this this entire box in the middle. Anybody, can you give me a CSS code using positions? How can we do this? Anybody? So my requirement is, it is in the top left. It is in the corner of the page. Now I need to get this center, center top, and here. We can say here. How can you achieve that? Using positions. Which property I need to use and where I need to use? Do I need to use it for a form, or do I need to use for a container? Where I need to use this property? Anybody? So can you try here? So position absolute. We need to use position absolute. Top, it is already in the top 0. Now we need to make it as at least, let's take 40 pics, 40 percentage, and left 45 percentage. I don't have any measurements here. I'm just writing randomly. I don't know it will come in the exact middle or not. So based upon that, we need to adjust the percentage here. Let me try to see the output. Yes, we got little bit down. So what we need to do is we need to decrease the top here. So it is 40% rate. We can make it as a 30 percentage. Now it is in the a little bit middle. If you see it is a little bit middle, that's fine. Okay, now we need to decorate the form tag. Did you understand now how this absolute is working now? So in this case, if you use a relative, observe here how it will work. Relative. So when we use a relative here, it will give us same percentage. When we use, sorry, same output, because in the container that form is, we are using a form. Understand that inside the container we are using this form tag. For this form tag we are using this relative and absolute. So in these cases we need to use absolute itself. Why? Because we are acting on the entire, we are performing the action on the entire page. Based upon the page only we are moving the object. It is not based on the particular tag. We are moving the object based on the entire pink color, isn't it? So we need to do like this. Now we need to arrange this form. So for form, we need to give border color. Let's take border 1 pixels solid navy blue. Okay, great. Then it is not visible. You can make it as a 5 pixels. Yes, it is visible now. Now we need to arrange these items. Great. Now jump here, use break tag, one more break tag to break the line here. Now we got like this, isn't it? Now we can use margin top. Now Gayatri, please make sure to like listen carefully. Now I need to use margin top to the login button. So I have a little bit space inside this, but I want this login button I want a space, more space between this login button and this input. I want more space. In this case, I want to, what I need to do is go to here, focus on this submit button. Where it is, take a class for it, or else you can take a ID. Let's take submit hyphen btn. So now we need to focus on the button. So you should use a slash to access this IDs submit button margin top. Observe carefully. I'm going to use of 50 pixels. I'm going to use 50 pixels here. Now I'm going to refresh this. Did you observe this? How the margin top is working here? If you want more space, then you can increase the 50 pixels to 100 pixels. This is how the margin top will work. Similarly, I want space in the left side of this inside the box. I want space inside the box. So when I say inside the box, it is a padding. Where I need to give padding? Here. Because we are using border here. So we should use the padding inside this only. Let's take 20 pixels padding. So you can ask me one more question. Before you use two properties like 20 pixels and 30 pixels, but this time you're using only 20 pixels. So it's your wish. So for example, you can use 20 pixels alone. Why and how it will work? So when you use a 20 pixels, what will happen is it will set like this: padding colon height equals inside. I'm saying inside it will set like this: height equals to 20 pixels and width equals to 20 pixels. ఈ విధంగా allocate అవుతుంది అనమాట. When you use a 20 pixels single property, by default it will take height equals to 20 pixels and width equals to 20 pixels. రెండు పక్కల సేమ్ గ్యాప్ వస్తుంది అనమాట. హైట్ అండ్ లెఫ్ట్ సేమ్ గ్యాప్ వస్తుంది. అర్థమవుతుందా? లేదు నాకు లెఫ్ట్ లో ఎక్కువ గ్యాప్ కావాలి అనుకుంటే అప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేయాలి అంటే మార్జిన్ యూజ్ చేసుకోవాలి. ప్యాడింగ్ యూజ్ చేసినప్పుడు లెఫ్ట్ అండ్ రైట్ రెండు సైడ్లు గ్యాప్ వస్తుంది. బట్ వెన్ యూ వాంట్ స్పేస్ ఇన్ ద లెఫ్ట్ సైడ్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ బాక్స్, inside the box, then we need to use padding left also available. So remove this padding left. Let's take 30 pixels. Now observe, you will get left side space. At the same time, you need a space in the top of the items. Then you can go for padding top, similar to the margin top, 30 pixels. We got space in the left side and the top side. If you want more space in the left side, you can increase to 35 pixels. See, it is moving actually. Now we got this item in the at a little bit middle. So it is not responsive. When we make it responsive means when we go for the flex concepts, we can call it as a flex concept. It is for more responsive, flex and grid. Now if you want to make this borders as a corners as a round corners, here we have an option called border radius. Border radius. Now we can make it as a rounded corners. Arthamotunda. Now you can also focus on this input tags also. This input tags also. This is not looking that much good, isn't it? This button is not looking good. This username and password is not looking good. We can make it more beautiful using this CSS. So in the next class, we will make this more beautiful using the CSS concept.